Hey everyone, Callie here with another World of Warcraft lore speculation video, and today we're going to go straight into talking about my theory on what 10.0 is, a little bit on how we get there, what evidence we got, and maybe a little bit of speculation on the systems that we may get with 10.0. So without any delay, let's get straight to it. So, 9.2, here we are, January 2022. 9.2 is still being data mined. We don't have the last wing and portion of bosses to be tested on the PTR, so we don't know what the story's going to do and how it leads into 10.0. Right now I speculate that Blizzard is holding that information back because we're going to get some revelations in that last wing. My speculation is that with the defeat of the jailer, he's going to set something in motion or win straight out and change reality in a way that's going to lead us into the next expansion, in which we have to fix or undo what he's done. One little piece of evidence that leads my theory is the new jailer model that was found with a 9.2 data mine. Now my theory is that this has all happened before in some form or fashion, whether it be the first ones or whatever cosmic entities have put all these machineries of this universe in motion, have led it to be a cycle. We keep hearing that even back as far as Legion, and with Medivh and Il'gynoth both saying things about the cycle that nearing completion. And with that, I think, is that this is all just a cycle of life and death and rebirth over and over. And that's been one of the big storylines of Shadowlands. So I think that's going to also play in the end as well. I think maybe some things may be tweaked and changed a little bit because of feedback from the player base. Seem to be really unhappy with how things have been going. I think that's also led back with the interview where they said we're returning to Azeroth with the next expansion, but I don't think it's exact. Without rambling here, we'll talk about. So 9.2 is going to end with some kind of something set in motion by the jailer in the end that we're going to have to fix, and I think the only way to fix it is to roll into 10.0, the return of Azeroth and the Emerald Dream. I think 10.0 is going to be the Emerald Dream. I think that's going to be how we fix things. Now, just a little bit about the Emerald Dream. Chronicle 1 tells us the Emerald Dream is an ethereal realm of spirits and untamed nature that exists alongside the world of Azeroth. Credible beings known as the Keepers forge the Emerald Dream to act as a map for the evolutionary path of Azeroth's flora and fauna. The two realms are bound as one. As life ebbs and flows across the physical world, spiritual energies that saturate the Emerald Dream keep pace with it. So there's a few hints in the wording there that I think they've lended to with the hints and evidence that we're getting to where we may be going. The biggest one so far has come out of the in-game store, that being the Sapphire Skyblazer, the Sunwarmed Furline, the Blinky Pet, and of course the Dragon Pack that they just released. I think all that's lending to the Emerald Dream being a place that is Azeroth, but different. As it said there, it's a map for the evolutionary path. That would explain why things like the Skyblazer and the Furline are not on Azeroth, but they might be in the Emerald Dream. Now, of course, I could be completely wrong, and it could be a tie-in back to the South Seas speculated expansion. We saw a little bit of that with Cataclysm, and people thought that old leaked expansion list, which included the South Seas, was where it was going. They could do that. It could be the other side of Azeroth type thing, but I think it's really just going to be the Emerald Dream. A little bit more evidence when we talk about all this. Of course, the Dragon Isles. I think that's proof with, of course, the Dragon Pack, the Blinky Pet. I think that definitely that's going to be one of the major portions of 10.0. We got the dragon scale from the island expeditions that talk about the return of the Black Dragon flight, and of course the Dragon Isles. Wrathion played key role at the end battle for Azeroth. He's off looking for the Dragon Isles, so I expect he'll play a big role. 10.0. There was also talk of Galakrond along the way. Galakrond, of course, ties two worlds of the dragons and the old gods together, because in the novels, when you read the fight with Tyr and Galakrond, he talks about how the creature had multiple eyes, how its flesh would change. It was just unnatural, which we see a little bit of that when we look at void-affected beings or old gods, things of that nature. What's a little bit more evidence? Well, going back to the BFA Isle expedition quest items, We got druidic fur. That quest dialogue talks about it being from original Worgern. Those original Worgern who took on pack form but couldn't control it were then slumbered in the Emerald Dream. So again, tie back to the Emerald Dream. We've also got the Drinking Horn, the Vrykul Drinking Horn. That quest dialogue talks about a group of Vrykul called the Bloodwake that sail the ocean basically as pirates. That ties in, I think, with the idea of a South Seas or the other side of Azeroth. What we could be looking at is an expansion that takes place in both. We return, but we find out we have to go into the Emerald Dream. I think it'll be back and forth, and we'll see a lot of both. It may be that it's 10.0 back to Azeroth, South Seas, and 10.1 is Emerald Dream. But I think that's where we're going as far as that goes. More evidence. The Norse Dormu storyline hasn't played out yet. So let's speculate this. Imagine that we find out we have to fix the world through the Emerald Dream, but the only way to do that is with the help of the dragon aspects. Of course, they're depowered to some extent. Really not sure. The end of Cataclysm saw them lose their power, yet they seem to still have some abilities. We could see them on a quest through the Dragon Isles and the Emerald Dream, reconnect with that power. We saw the return of Ysera in the Shadowlands to some degree. We don't know. They say she's bound to Ardenweald, but we don't know if she's free to return Azeroth like so many other creatures who are reborn through Ardenweald do. So we'll have to watch for that one. But imagine along that quest it ties in with the Il'gynoth whispers that I've always speculated when it comes to those. They are talking about the dragon aspects, and those being the 5 lanterns now darkened. The flame they seek will light the master's way. I've always speculated that's the dragon aspects trying to find a way to get repowered. And along that way, they'll just simply open the door for the void to come through. 5 keys to open our way, 5 torches to light our path, of course. I think I do have to say, as a side note, I think a lot of this was employees who are no longer part of Blizzard crafting a story that who may be there now may not necessarily be going with. I don't know, speculate. But I think if I was to wrap it up in a quick little blurb, and I'll put the time code for this at the bottom, but my speculation is 10.0, return to Azeroth, Emerald Dream, possibly South Seas, other side of Azeroth, Dragon Isles, continuation of the dragon aspects. Stormu, we're going to finally see him become Murazon. The Emerald Dream ties in with Shadowlands and Azeroth in the cosmology charts by being the center of reality, basically. Those 3 entities tied together for some meaning overall. And I think all that, of course, is going to lead into 11 being, the Cosmic War. And one other key thing that kind of hints to where I might be right about this is there was a 9.2 Emerald Drake mount data mine. Now that could of course be the mount that we get for defeating the jailer, ahead of a curve type deal, or it could be one of those that's added to the game and then we never get it like so many others, or added later on. Either way, it's there. And it's interesting because why would we have it now? We already have an Emerald Drake mount that came from a previous achievement, so why another one? So I think we'll see. So let's speculate about system. What are we going to get? Well, I think the biggest thing is the removal of factions. I think that's gone. I think it's been a long time coming. I think we all speculated that it would happen before now. I think it was set up, and I think now's the time, especially with the player base being vocal about it, and finally people were starting to listen. There was a tweet where they talked about the possibility of Dark Rangers. What do I think about that? I think what they may do is the next system that we play with be the one where we basically take our character and we advance that class, so to speak, where maybe you can take a hunter and go down an advancement track that gives you the possibility of a Shadow Hunter, a Dark Ranger, some kind of beast master, so to speak, and that each class will get that. You could see Arc Druids and Arc Mages and, things that we've seen in fantasy. People have always wanted a Blade Master. Maybe that's a way to get that with a warrior. It's a possibility. We saw that the artifact weapon was hugely popular in Legion with an advancement system within a class, being solely contained within a class. It was very popular among players. And a way to do that is to return to something like this to allow the player to be able to choose a path that they like and advance in it. And since you're doing it to all classes, it may be a way to kind of give a little bit back of that artifact class order hall system from Legion and advance it further with no factions. So that's all I got. I tried to make this as short as possible. I appreciate you taking the time. Please hit like if you like the video. Comment below, join the conversation here. If you'd like to see anything for the next video, leave me a comment, send me an email, Khaliionwow@gmail.com. Drop me over on Twitter. It's Khalion. Next video, we're going to talk maybe a little bit about some of this 9.2 stuff, maybe further talk about 10.0, and we're also going to do a store mount giveaway. So subscribe so you don't miss that. Thank you again for taking the time. I'll see you next time.